average person cannot discuss things
That's right.
because they haven't got the language to do so. It isn't because they're dumb. If you use words like dumb as not being informed in a given area, I don't know what that means. I don't know. They say a person's dumb, sometimes they don't agree with me. You know, I don't know how people use language. But I know that all systems that work have procedures. Even operating a crane or a tractor. You check your oil, you check your this, you check that, and it says don't use it on this terrain, or, you know, there's all kinds of things. But people find out first and develop a procedural system. Now there are ways of raising children. If you want them to be artists or painters, you send them to art school, or you assume that art school has a procedural system. Not necessarily. Very few schools have procedural systems. They don't even know what it is, unless you remind them. So what do you want people to be good at? Then what does that comprise? How old do they have to be to get a general ability to assimilate words? And what language exposure have they had before you talk to them? You know, have children been brought up with semantics? Have they been brought up with search for meaning? You know, they don't know what those things mean. So you can't even hand a person a procedural system because they don't know the advantage of it or how it comes about. When I say furniture will be designed by anatomists and physiologists, by measuring the pressure of the back, on the spine, on the butt, so that the chair is designed to meet those specifications. But if different people sit on the chair, you have to have the range of people that are going to sit on the chair. A 300-pounder, a 500-pounder, a 200-pounder. Then the procedural system for designing that chair is different than a 148-pounder. Do you know what I mean? If you design furniture for one person, the procedural system has a range. But if you design it for everyone, small children, well, the toilet bowl has to be designed for small children. And people that can no longer wipe their behind in the hospital, the paralytic, you have to design equipment that'll wipe their behind when they defecate. So procedural systems are not fixed, depends on the situation. What's the ideal procedural system? What's the situation? Do you know what that means? Mm-hmm. What have we here? I can't tell you anything unless I know what the conditions are. And I think that in the future, when people are brought up to understand that, there'll be much less conflict. They will ask questions. How much arable land do you have? I'll tell you how many people we can feed. I can't. What do you estimate? Well, I have to do a survey first. People are ready to give their opinion about anything, which scares the shit out of me. It really does. School teachers do that all the time. They have their own procedural system. Has nothing to do with whether it works or not. It's what they feel will work. They don't do studies in learning theory. What enables some people to learn quickly and others not. That's what they have to study. Not Jimmy did it better than Max. Jimmy is brighter and faster. Well, no, they don't work a procedural system for improving memory or swimming or any other thing, except in the Olympics. They have instructors that are closer to procedural systems, Olympic instructors. Now, I read recently where a coach beat up some of the kids because they weren't playing the way he wanted them to play. He beat them up. And I understand in the Arab world, they beat their wives 3 times a day approximately. Beat them up. And that's normal. Because women need to be beaten up in order to carry out a given job. And they expect to be beaten by the old man. So they try not to displease him. So displeasing him brings on the beating. If she tries not to displease him, She has to give up her own feelings and consider his feelings if he's dominant. And if a boss exists in a plant, it means that the help doesn't know what to do. Otherwise you have a boss that tells them what to do, a foreman. But if they know what to do, you don't need a foreman. You don't need to tell a lifeguard every day. You sit there and you watch children going into the water. You don't have to tell them that. To become a lifeguard, you're given a procedural system, if it's a sane organization that you work for.